Just stupid to ramble about that. But I sat there thinking, I'm like, so this is it. If I don't get new lungs, I don't get to see my 21st birthday, probably. Usually when they tell you really don't have much longer, a year or less. And here I am, February, they tell me that, and my birthday is November. Well, finally I agreed, okay, let's start the workup. I want to get listed. And so I started it. I had to get the heart cath and all this, just all these tests. And over the summer I was getting workup done here and there, but I was having good times over the summer. But I went to sleep at home around the end of June. I went to sleep at home in my bed and woke up 3 days later in the ICU on life support to a doctor telling my mother I wasn't going to make it off because I have cystic fibrosis, and the chances of me making it off life support at this stage in my illness, I wouldn't make it off. That didn't go well with me waking up to that. And of course you can't say anything when you have a tube down your throat into your lungs, so you're screaming in your head and you're trying to make motions, and it was scary being trapped in my head and not being able to say anything. And it sucks because here I am at 20 years old, wanting to get married, have kids, go on in life. My little brother and sister watching me die. My brother's the one who had to carry me to the couch. My family found me face down dead in my doorway. I don't remember that. So finally I figured out how to start hyperventilating on that ventilator because I was really ticked off with the doctor. My sight was blurry from all the drugs, and I just remember staring at a white coat and just hyperventilating, and everybody seemed shocked because I heard a gasp and my mom started crying, and I didn't want my mom to think I was going to give up, and I wasn't going to give up. I'm not going to let a doctor tell my mom how I'm going to live or when I'm going to die. So after that I went to Cleveland and they finished up more workup. They were getting worried. Come end of August, Dr. Budev, she's amazing, the Cleveland Clinic, she looked at me and she goes, how are you still going on? And I'm like, I told her everything that was wrong, and she looked at me, she goes, you're in horrible shape. My legs were hurting. They were just always hurting. My whole body hurt because of lack of oxygen. My heart was working so hard that I was losing weight, even if I did get food down at times. It was eat or breathe. And it was really hard because my little sister at the age of 12, 13, every night would come into my room and lay next to me to make sure I was breathing. My little brother would check on me, but when my little sister at that age would make macaroni and cheese for me at night to make sure I had calories and come sleep next to me to make sure I wouldn't die, that's really hard to see your younger brother and sister see you go through that. You wonder, I know organ donation doesn't make sense, blood donation doesn't make sense, maybe against your beliefs, and I'm not bashing you. But you gotta understand, parents don't like burying their children, and some people want to live their lives to do something good. I mean, maybe there's an illness you have and you don't believe in organ donation, but you want to cure for that. What if somebody gets saved by that and they can cure your illness? So come September 6th, 2006, I was listed, 4 p.m. October 17th, 2006, 1 month and 11 days later, 4 a.m., I get the call for transplant. It was weird because that night I didn't think I was going to make it. I was sitting on my friend's bed and it just hit me that I'm not going to make it. So I was afraid to go back to sleep that night. I was going to stay up because I didn't want my family to find me dead. I was going to have them take me to the hospital just in case my body did give out. So I got lucky. And I remember I was sitting there in the ICU getting prepped with all these shots, my first dose of anti-rejection meds, which made my esophagus hot. It scared me. I'm like, you're giving me all these weird meds I've never been on before. What if this hurts me? I was afraid I was going to have like an allergic reaction and keel over dead like I would from the flu shot. I go into shock from that, so I gotta watch out for that H1N1 virus. Anyways, and I was panting like a dog. I was literally going constantly, and it was always, all the time I was thinking in, out, in, out, in, out, as I was trying to do other things. It was like my mind was split in two at this point. And I remember the doctor telling me, because my room air was 95%, or my oxygen on room air was 95%. When you're panting like a dog, of course it will be up there. And I wasn't moving, I was sitting in a bed, sitting still. But he told me, you can probably be okay if this is a dry run. And I'm sitting there in the back of my head thinking, no, I'm going to die. This is it. If this is a dry run, I'm done. But I smiled and nodded, and, you know, you don't want to tell a doctor they're wrong. Sometimes they know more than you, you know. Sometimes you can be wrong. But I sat there all day, prepped arterial line, our line they put in your artery, a bunch of IVs in my arms, monitors all over me, my family and friends around, my little brother and sister looking terrified, and my mom just, she looked happy, but I could see it in her eyes she was terrified. And here I'm thinking, okay, so if I do get lungs, if I don't make it through the surgery, at least I go down like a dog. And I know that is bad to say and probably offensive, but if I would have died during surgery, at least it wouldn't have been painful. I was not afraid of the surgery itself. I was not afraid of going under. I was afraid of waking up, having complications, and not surviving and going through more pain than I already was. But I went in, came back out. Within 6 hours, I was off the ventilator, which astonished people. I was walking around the next day. And October 17th this year will be 3 years now. Here I am. And I helped a very good friend of mine do a film, 65 Red Roses. And that's about cystic fibrosis or an organ donation. I don't know who my donor is, and I wish I could thank their family. I sent out a letter, didn't get a response, and I hope it did get to them. And I'm thankful. I've done a lot. I'm able to run and scream, and I've been doing community service, helping people. I'm giving back. And I'm doing things that I never got a chance to do even growing up, like trying to keep up with people, running, singing. I'm going to get my license soon. I want to start college. I got to see my brother graduate. He's 18, he's graduated. My sister's turning 16 in October. I get to see her sweet 16. And, you know, I got married even. I get to live my life. And that's what it does. It saves people. You may not be a superhero with superpowers, but you can be a superhero upon death. By donating organs, tissue, bone, skin. Just donate, because you'll save so many people. So many people. One person can save over a dozen people. I know when I pass on, I'm going to donate whatever's good in me. I got a chance. I'm going to give somebody else a chance. Just imagine a little 5-year-old girl having to sit in a hospital for months on end on dialysis, getting poked, prodded, terrified, wanting to be outside, blowing bubbles, swinging on swings, being with her friends, being in school and learning, not sitting in a hospital with scary doctors, with weird machines beeping at you, and these machines being attached to you to help you survive. It's not the way a child should grow up. I'm an adult, I know. But I'm going to do things to give back. But a child, even if you don't believe in organ donation, just think about a child who's terrified. If you can save them from that and give them a full life, just think of that. What if it was you or your child? I got a double lung transplant October 17th, 2006. I've been fighting cystic fibrosis. I am 23 years old, 24 years old in November. And I'm a CF warrior, and I will always spread awareness to give back to my donor.